From Cornwall to Birmingham and Johnston and Bexhill, here's Ruben Spire on the radio.
Hello to Jes Marie. How are you today?
Hello, I'm so good. How are you today, Ruben?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for letting me chat to you today. So, can you tell me how long have you been a singer-songwriter for?
Oh my goodness. So I have been a singer-songwriter for quite a while now. I've been doing it since I was oh my gosh, I'd have to say like 10 or 11. So and I've been doing it ever since I started writing songs as a kid in Frederick, Maryland, and then kept doing it and then went to college, did it throughout college, and now I'm doing it now out in Los Angeles.
So, what was it like going to the recording studio when you first released your debut single?
You know, I have been recording in the studio for years. I love going into the studio. It's so much fun. It's just such a magical energy when you're in that vocal booth and you're working with the producer and you're getting like the sounds that you hear in your head out onto the recording. So I've always loved recording. I love it so much. Now lately I've actually been recording myself as well from home ever since the pandemic. I built my own studio, which is actually see some of it here. So I do a lot of recording in here, and that's fun as well. But there's nothing like that element of going into a studio and working with other people in person. That's so fun.
So, can you tell me more about your debut single called "The Birds and the Bees"?
Oh yeah, so the debut, yes. That was so fun. That was a few years ago. I wrote it and I had a great producer, Noah Conrad. He was the producer on it. We wrote it together. It's funny, we did that in his home studio, uh, maybe like 10 minutes from my house. And since then, he's blown up and he's working with a lot of signed major label acts like Kelsey Ballerini and BTS and a lot of people. So he's crushing it. He's great. So that was so much fun because he's really talented and I love collaborating with other people. So that was a blast. Yeah. I mean, I enjoy making upbeat, uh, peppy music. So I had a good time with that one.
So, where do you get your inspiration for writing, songwriting?
Yeah. I've got my inspiration all over the place, but a lot of times melodies and lyrics kind of just drop into my head at once. Maybe one line, a chorus line or a hook will drop into my head, and then I'll start to write from the chorus and then write things almost backwards. So sometimes I'll write a whole chorus, then write the verse and the pre-chorus leading into that chorus. But I really love, spending time with my family and friends, spending time with my husband, who actually directed my most recent music video. And he's our artist as well. We've written songs together and he's an actor too. So I get inspiration from all the people that surround me that I'm with all the time. And then just, so many, like I said, so many times things just pop into my head. So you never know when inspiration will strike.
So, can you tell me more about Party in the Sun?
Sure. Yeah, that one was written with Simon J, who's also an amazing songwriter and producer. And he's super talented, based out in LA as well. He's done a lot of vocal arranging and other work with Ricky Minor, who's done work for the Grammys and a bunch of other programs. So he's just a really talented person. Young and hungry, for a guy. And I loved working with him on that as well. These songs, I really wanted to fuse country and pop and electronic sounds and dance, because that's what I love when I go out with my friends. And I've done a lot of gigs at country saloons and bars where people are line dancing. And I feel like that dance sound into that upbeat sound is like what I really go for. So I love fusing all of those vibes together.
So, what was like the pandemic being a single songwriter in the gigging world?
Yeah, that's a great question, Ruben. The pandemic was hard initially, but then it got better because so obviously, the world's shutting down. And I remember I had all these gigs lined up and live shows out in the LA community, and everything got canceled. So it was a really big bummer and I was upset. And then, even just financially, my gigs getting canceled was like, oh gosh, this is, horrible. What good can come from this? And I know everybody in the world was really in shock by what was happening. But as time progressed, I actually realized like, hey, so the world shut down now. You're not doing these gigs. You can't go to the gym. You can't go to the park, whatever. You can't do much of anything, but you can still write music. You're at home. You can still get things done. So, my husband and I actually started writing a lot of music together. And, we actually created a whole new musical project that is electropop called Camille, which is spelled Chamie. And we've had a lot of success with music being placed on TV shows and films with songs we created and recorded in our home studio during the pandemic. So the pandemic ended up being a bit of a blessing for our music in that way with that project, but it was obviously a difficult time for everybody, and I'm so glad that's over and we can go out and talk to each other and not wear masks and sing again out in public. I'm so grateful.
So, can you tell me more about your latest single called Girls Night Out?
Yes, I'd love to. Thank you for asking. I'm so excited about this single. This was also produced with Noah Conrad, who did Birds and the Bees, super talented producer, worked with a lot of people since then. But yeah, I loved writing this song because it kind of came to me. I think I wrote the song in about 20 minutes from start to finish. It just kind of all fell into place because I was thinking about, going out with my friends and this pop dance country vibe that I love hearing when I'm out and having fun with people. But then I realized there's so many male artists being played on country radio, which is great. Nothing against the guys, but there was even a whole thing over here in the US a few years ago with radio promoters saying, oh, we're only going to play I think it was 90% male artists. And the women are the icing on the cake. I actually think they called it a salad, and they said the males were the lettuce of the salad and the women were just like the tomatoes or something sprinkled in there. And they said, you're lucky if you play one female artist every hour. And that's still going on. It's still I'll listen to country radio and it's still 9 or 10 male artists and then maybe one female duet with a male artist, or one female artist that's huge, like a Carrie Underwood or a Lainey Wilson. So it's really still a difficult time for women to break that bubble in country radio. And so the song was basically my ode to that. And the beginning lyrics are, it's about time we're overdue. And so it's about time, it's time for the ladies to take over. And there's room for the guys too, but there's definitely room for us to have our equal share. So this song was definitely a double entendre for the girls going out and dancing, but also it's girls' night out. It's our time in the industry as well.
So, have you any thoughts about doing an EP or an album in the future?
Yes, definitely. I'm always writing new music, always working on stuff out here. And so I definitely have plans to do more singles, more an EP, an album. I definitely have things in the works. I have so many song ideas that I want to get out there. So I definitely have a lot that I'm excited and itching to release.
So have you thought about doing a collab with another country pop artist?
Ooh, that would be amazing. I would love to do that. I am definitely open to that for sure. I can think of a few people right now who I'd love to work with. So, I mean, Shania Twain is my biggest inspiration. Ever since growing up, my mom would play her in the car, and I loved all of her songs. I listened to her Come On Over album all the time. So she's definitely my biggest inspiration. And this song, Girls Night Out, is kind of like my modern version of Man, I Feel Like a Woman, or Girls Just Want to Have Fun, because I've performed at a lot of weddings and events, and I see, the single gals or just the girls in general getting out on the dance floor. So this song to me is like, oh, I want this to be played at like wedding receptions and bachelorette parties. So yeah, Shania Twain, someone I would love to work with. I would love to work with Dolly Parton. She just is incredible as a musician, an actress, a songwriter, a performer, and a philanthropist. And that's something that I dream of doing, is being as big of a philanthropist as Dolly Parton. That'd be so cool.
So, can you tell me how's it being an independent artist for you?
Yeah, how's it been? So it's been definitely ups and downs. There's highs and lows. So, releasing this music video and this song for Girls Night Out was very exciting. It was a high. Yay, it's released. We've had it in the works for a while. It was exciting to finally put it out there and have people see it. And the response has been great. I actually cold emailed someone, and now the song and the music video are going to be in 5,000 gyms across the country, and cheesecake factories, and like a bunch of other restaurants. So so that's really exciting. So I'm hoping people see the video and discover it from that. But there's definitely lows as well. I mean, doing things that just don't work, or you're putting it out there and you feel like there's so much noise out there. There's just so many people and artists and things out there every day. So then you're like, how do I cut through that noise? So there's definitely highs and lows for sure. But, I think it's important to be positive and try to focus on the highs and, what you have achieved, and then go from there.
So, finally, can you tell my listeners where can I find you on your social media?
Yes, absolutely. So my social media handle is at real, Real, Jes, Jes, only one S, Marie, M as in Mary, Arie. So real Jes Marie, Jes with one S. And then my website is jesmarie.com. That's JESMARIE.com. I'd love for you to check out the song and the music video for Girls Night Out. And I'd love for you to say hi. And I just love hearing from you. That would be great. So if you say hi and follow me, and I'll follow you, and we can hang and be friends.
Thank you for letting me chat to you today.
Thank you so much. That was so fun. I appreciate you, Ruben.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
You too. Thank you so much.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you.